I'm all for healthy boundaries, but I tend to think mashed potatoes are the great equalizer. Like, you don't want to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't set politics aside.
Whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family, because they won't always be there.
I'm going to disagree.
All right. Well, apparently the View host, Sunny Hostin, is all for Democratic voters essentially spending the holidays alone if it means not having to deal with family members who are big Trumpers, individuals who supported Trump for this election.
Welcome back. Today we dive into a debate that's lighting up social media. Anna Kasparian isn't just stirring the pot, she's breaking it down, calling out the divisive rhetoric coming from The View and its hosts, Sunny Hostin and Reid. From family Thanksgiving showdowns over politics to heated arguments about race and representation in the media, nothing is off the table here. The real question is, are our political differences worth tearing families apart, or is the media fanning the flames for clicks? Let's cut through the noise and get to what's really going on.
The topic came up after a Yale psychiatrist by the name of Amanda Calhoun suggested to Reid that it might actually be a good idea to skip the holiday celebrations this season following the election. Let's watch.
There is a push, I think just a societal norm, that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me.
All right, so I'm not surprised that was something that was said on Reid's show, but I am curious what you think, John. There are those who disagree. Plenty of people who do agree, though, but I'm curious where you fall on this debate.
A recent suggestion from a Yale psychiatrist, echoed by Reid, that families should consider skipping gatherings with relatives who support Trump has set off a storm of debate. Anna Kasparian pushed back hard, arguing that this kind of advice only fuels hostility and isolates people over their political beliefs rather than fostering dialogue. In a time when communities are already deeply divided, she warns that cutting off loved ones based on voting preferences doesn't heal wounds, it widens them, turning family bonds into battlegrounds for ideology.
If you have a group that might come over and it's going to ruin the day and the election was literally 3 weeks ago, then in that case, I think you might have to create some distance.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it really does depend, right? Because if you're going to preemptively cut people off because you simply know that they voted differently from you and you vehemently disagree with who they cast their ballots for, but they haven't been jerks to you, you can typically have a good time with them and not get into a political debate. Like, I think it's wrong to cut those people off, especially if it's family, friends, people who have been close to you. There's going to be political disagreements to destroy our relationships and our families and our friendships. So that's where I'm coming from. Plus, when you keep that line of communication open and you can stomach some of those political debates, if you engage in good faith and if the person you're disagreeing with knows that you're coming from a place of love, you can actually, maybe persuade, maybe they'll persuade you on some things, who knows? But at the end of the day, we need to see each other as people rather than like political avatars. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as a general rule, sure. Again, this super depends on the individual. I mean, there are people who they might have had to hide who they were when they were teens, and now
I know, yeah,
their parents want to have Thanksgiving dinner with them, but they remember what their early life was like. Like it super depends on the individual person.
It really does. It does. I totally agree with you on that. Okay, so Anna Navarro, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and Sarah Haynes all agree that they don't let politics get in the way of their relationships and with family. So let's take a look at what they had to say.
I'll tell you, Al has 5 children.
Your husband.
My husband has 5 children. Most of them or their spouses voted for Trump. The problem is those 5 children have 13 grandchildren he refuses not to see and not to be part of their lives. And so for our family, I mean, he has told them, I will not let politics split up our family.
You don't want to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't set politics aside. Like I find that every day in every job I've worked in social circles I've run in, I've been around people who have different politics than me, and it's never gotten in the way of having friendships
Well,
with
I
them.
wouldn't have had
it simply has. I wouldn't have had any friends.
I wouldn't have had any holidays if I had to only pick the ones where everyone agreed with me. And so now there are times,
Max
and
wouldn't be with you.
I check in with myself and say, am I up for this? Because I also know struggling with mental health. There are times I'm not, and that's okay. You step away, but it will never be the defining point because toxic personalities don't have political affiliations. It's a personality trait that sucks, and we all are related to people like that.
Anna Kasparian didn't hold back in her critique of The View, taking particular aim at Sunny Hostin and others for pushing what she called a divisive, self-righteous narrative built on moral grandstanding. According to Kasparian, this approach doesn't unite, it alienates, revealing a hypocrisy in the host's refusal to engage respectfully with opposing viewpoints. Her criticism went further, blasting the way the show and similar media outlets frame issues of race. Kasparian argued that their rhetoric is not only unrepresentative but harmful, reducing complex realities into shallow caricatures that don't resonate with everyday people. By presenting themselves as champions of inclusivity while fueling division, she warned, The View is doing more harm than good, polarizing audiences instead of fostering real understanding.
Sunny Hostin, she's having a tough go at things, and she's in the complete opposite camp. So let's hear what she has to say.
Whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family because they won't always be there.
I'm going to disagree. I completely understand her point because I really do feel that this candidate, President-elect Trump, is just a different type of candidate. From the things he's said and the things he's done and the things he will do, it's more of a moral issue for me. And I think it's more of a moral issue for other people. We're just, I would say it was different when, let's say, Bush got elected. You may not have agreed with his policies, but you didn't feel like he was a deeply flawed person, deeply flawed by character, deeply flawed in morality.
A lot of devs called him deeply flawed and demonized him.
But you got to admit, they're very different figures. I think when people feel that someone voted not only against their families, but against them and against people that they loved, I think it's okay to take a beat.
Okay, I think she was fine in what she's saying there. Taking a beat is definitely fine. Sometimes you need a break. That's totally okay. Look, I think, John, you and I have the right take. Okay, the right take is...
I generally think that.
Right? Yeah.
Actually, yeah. That's why I take it.
Anna Kasparian cuts through the noise by pointing out a truth often overlooked in today's toxic climate. Family divisions usually stem from difficult personalities, not political affiliations. She argues that the bitterness tearing people apart is less about who voted for whom and more about the inability to handle conflict without hostility. Turning her focus to Sunny Hostin, Kasparian delivers a scathing critique of what she calls generational hypocrisy, enjoying the privileges of success while pushing narratives of victimhood and entitlement. She contends this mindset reflects the broader failures of mainstream media, especially The View. With ratings on the decline, Kasparian blames the show's divisive rhetoric and its unwillingness to engage viewers with differing perspectives. Instead of fostering dialogue, she argues, it doubles down on alienation, driving away the very audience it claims to represent.